Seated in the back of the van, Giovanni and Alberto don't exchange so much as a single word. Their thoughts and senses are focused solely on the task at hand, the aluminum case situated on the floor between them. Alberto grips his semi-automatic in his hand, while Giovanni feels the weight of an identical firearm pressed against his ribcage in its shoulder holster. A half-hour passes. The van sways and bucks as the driver picks up speed, tapping the brakes occasionally to avoid rear-ending a slower vehicle before passing it outright. But then something unexpected happens. The driver slams on the brakes. Giovanni and Alberto are thrust against the metal wall separating the van bay from the driver/passenger compartment. Merde! Giovanni barks, the wrist that's locked to the aluminum attaché stinging now that it's bearing the full weight of the lance inside it. What the hell was that all about? Alberto cries, thumbing the safety on his semi-automatic. Why are we stopped? Then his eyes on his partner. Your weapon, Giovanni. You might need it. Sitting back up, Giovanni draws his Beretta with his free hand. The two were about to exit the van via the back cargo bay doors when suddenly they are thrust open. Two figures jump into the back with all the speed and agility of skilled gymnasts. They don black riot gear and black helmets with dark visors. Gripped in their hands, ultra-short Heckler & Koch G36C 5.56mm assault rifles. The red luminescent laser beam sights poised on their targets inside the unlit space. The rifles explode with fully automatic gunfire. Giovanni and Alberto drop on the spot, their souls leaving their bodies before their flesh slaps down lifeless and hard on the metal bed. The first of the two uniformed men turn toward the open van doors. The package is attached to his wrist, he says in his native German. Two more uniformed men stand outside the open doors. One of them is tall and thickly built. Cut his hand off, he says, also in German. Without hesitation, the first man pulls a 7 1/4-inch blade from the sheath attached to his combat boot. Grabbing hold of the hand that attaches Giovanni's wrist to the aluminum attaché, he sets it firmly onto the van bench. Situating the razor-sharp business end of the knife against the wrist, he presses down while slicing to and fro, as though cutting through a pig's leg. The severed hand drops to the van floor, directly beside the dead body to which it belongs. Pulling the cuff off the wrist, the first man frees the attaché. Lifting it from off the van floor, he tosses it to the tall man. The tall man sets it on the van floor, and reaching into his shirt pocket, pulls out 2 tabs that have the look and feel of 2 separate sticks of gum. He presses both tabs onto the attaché's combination locks. Running 2 separate wires from the tabs to a mobile palm-sized detonator, he looks up at the 2 men inside the van and whispers, "Fire in the hole." The men turn while tall man detonates the charges. 2 small blasts cause the attaché to jump and drop back down onto the van floor. When tall man reapproaches the case, he can plainly see that the locks have been blown away. Reaching out with his hands, he goes to open the lid. "Wait," interjects the voice of a man, an old man. "Please, allow me to do the honors." Like the riot gear uniformed man, this man also speaks fluent German. Unlike the other men, he is 90 years old, if he is a day. Still, he enjoys all the use of his faculties, despite his years. Like his men, the uniform he wears is black. But his uniform is much older than theirs. The stiff collar sports the letters SS, while his trousers balloon at the thighs like the jodhpurs worn by members of the cavalry. On his feet, he wears polished black jackboots. He steps up to the case, and setting his hands on the cover, slowly opens it. His blue eyes grow wet with tears. His breath is shallow and labored. The cheeks on his face, which bear the thick scars of a deep knife wound, grow tight. He can feel himself smiling, because this is the day he has been anxiously anticipating for more than 70 years. The day he became reunited with Longinus's lance. The Spear of Destiny. The spear that would have led the Third Reich to ultimate world victory if only Hitler had not killed himself hours before. Reaching into the case, the man pulls out the sword with his black leather glove-covered hands. He holds it over his head, not to honor the god it belongs to, but instead, the spirit of the Führer, who never had the opportunity to touch or gaze upon his prize. "This spear will once more lead us to victory," the man says, his voice strong and confident, not the voice of an old man at all. "It is our destiny." The men surrounding him raise their right hands high. "Heil Hitler!" they bellow. "Heil Hitler!" the man proudly responds.